All right, there we go. Turn the mic on. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's live stream. Hope you guys are doing good today. So we are going to be doing the newest 3D model via Nikki. She came up with a really cool one. So bubbles. So let me turn on the overhead cam. I think these are going to be pretty fun. So they got a bunch of little chambers that we can fill with resin. Now this one is going to be one of those where you want a slow setting resin because you need lots of working time. And you're going to want to also have probably some syringes. So I've kind of given up on the little pipettes things. Those things are kind of terrible. I think syringes are a little bit better way to go, and they're more useful for more things and a little bit more accurate if you wanted to be trying to place, you know, stuff in. I didn't really get the interference powder on that gear shift knob blank exactly where I wanted it, but I was using kind of a syringe that it probably needed to be tossed and grab a new one. But I have links to both the syringes and the needles in the description, but I'm going to drop you guys a link in the chat for these things. They're highly useful and not particularly expensive. I thought that these syringe ones were a little bit, they're definitely more than the pipettes. You can buy like a ton of those pipette things, but the pipettes don't really work. I think they're kind of useless. Definitely don't work as good. So that first link is the tips, like the needle things, and then that's for the syringes. So this one is the 10 milliliter. Actually, this box is lying to us. Yeah, okay, so this is the 3 milliliter size, but you can see there's like 100 in here, and I think this was about 15 bucks. I mean, so you're still getting quite a few. I think on this one we'll probably, I don't know, we'll probably go with the 10 milliliter. Don't I have a box of those somewhere? I think I need to order, oh, is that? I don't think I bought a full box. I got another pack. I did a kind of a test pack with a bunch of different sizes in it because I wasn't sure what size tips I wanted. And actually, they even have bigger ones. Here we go. We got a few 10 milliliter ones. I think 10 milliliters is probably your best bet. 3 milliliters is pretty good for most things, though, too. So the link is to the 10 milliliters. 3, a lot of times, depending on what you're doing, let's just open one of these guys up so you can see the difference in size. I mean, obviously it's, you know, 7 milliliters less. So, but, you know, you can see kind of the difference in size in these two. And it just, you know, the 10 milliliter, you're going to get a lot more in, you know, that you can kind of suck up into the tube. And it'll just go a lot farther than having to constantly refill the 3 milliliter. Like I just recently poured another one of the shooting star blanks. And I mean, for me, even just to fill this purple, I was using a 3 milliliter. And I mean, I had to refill it like, I don't know how many times, like 4 or 6 times. So it just, you know, the other nice thing is it also, you kind of know how much resin you used with these things. It's kind of a nice thing to have. You're like, okay, I did, you know, three times 3 milliliters. So they're really nice to have on hand. And like I said, links to them on Amazon. And then these needles, let me go figure out which size if you're not buying it from, so the 14 gram, 14G, I'm guessing that's gram, blunt needle, and then it's like 1.5 inches long. I think that's a pretty good size. So that's what I linked to. So we got a couple of tips, and so you're gonna, the way these things work, it's pretty simple. You just screw your tip on, and you're ready to go. And then the nice thing is they're reusable. What I do is, you'll see me do this at the end. What I do is I just get a cup full of acetone, suck in some acetone, and I just keep, you know, kind of pulling it in and out, and that kind of cleans out the resin. Eventually it may get to the point where it doesn't really work anymore. Just throw this thing away. You got a whole box of them, you know, like that's what you want to do. So anyway, they're pretty fun. Again, it's something that I think is a good thing to have on hand. How did I do this? How did this fit in my cabinet? There we go. Okay. So I think we're going to do this in like 2 different batches because all the white ones are fairly similar. And I think what I'm going to do is just mix up a bunch of colors. So what we're going to do is you guys can super chat to pick some colors. And we're just going to kind of fill the holes, right? Pretty simple way to go. So just pick a bunch of random colors and then I'll kind of, randomly fill the bubbles. Pretty easy way to go. This actually, so the resin that I'm going to use on the first one, probably, we're going to see how far this goes. I'm going to go for liquid diamonds first. It's a thin viscosity resin, which I think is a good option for things that you're injecting like this. Just a little bit easier to handle, let's say, than something that's super thick and goopy. It'll kind of flow into that hole a little bit easier. But I will say another alternative that is probably not a bad idea is actually deep pour from alumilite or something like it. So this has the working time, they say 60 to 90 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's 82 in the shop, but I mean, it's got a really long working time. And especially in small amounts. So the thing about what that says on the bottle, 60 to 90 minutes, I think that they're talking about like mixing a bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket of it, because most people are using it for river tables. But it works just fine, even in small amounts. The only difference is you're gonna have to let it sit for days before it has fully cured up. So I would really, before turning it, if you're gonna use deep pour, I would wait a week to make sure that it's fully cured, but it cures up fine. I was super blown away by how well it works. These dice, I poured these things with deep pour, okay? It's a river table epoxy that's made to be poured in like 3-inch deep type things. And these things hardened up perfectly fine after about 7 days, 5 to 7 days. So again, it's just one of those things where you got to just let it sit and just don't touch it. It'll be still squishy after like a day or two. So just to let you know, there's a couple options, and we're going to go for the deep pour option on the second one, just to kind of see how does it work. So let me stop real quick. What? Mike McEwen's in gold in the red blank. Nice. Okay. And teal from Lelia. Nice. Let's see here. Butcher's coat. Oh, that's funny. Nice. That's a good one, Jim. I like it. Gretchen's in here? What? How's it going? Amy's here too? Man, I've been talking, haven't even been looking, I guess, here. Let's see here. Who else is here? Chris Walters is here. Nice. How's it going? I'm doing good. Yeah, I do have a lab coat. Where is it? Oh, I lost my hook. It's not as, I don't know, I don't feel as hot today. So we'll put it on if I get sick of it. This is how, if you guys are really serious about resin casting, this is the setup that you need. So the lab coat plus, I gotta blow these off real quick. They're a little dusty, I haven't used them. This is my favorite costume thing. I'm gonna get everything set up before I come over there. We're gonna get ready before you can see me. Although you might be able to see me a little bit. No, the camera's not picking up over here. Okay, so this is how you do it, guys. You get the old school glasses, goggle things. One of my lenses is falling out, but that's okay. Huh? What do you think of that? I mean, I don't think I can wear these goggles the whole time, but I'm sure alumilite would love it if I wore goggles the entire time that I was working with their resin. Oh, there's something in my pocket. Oh no, that's my. So there we have it. I'm just gonna keep these on my head because I can't barely see out of them. I need to clean them. Oh yeah, gauge, 14 gauge, good call. I was like, gram? That doesn't make any sense. Welsh Piper was asking about the deep pour for like color swirl blanks. No, you don't want to use deep pour because you would have to wait basically like overnight before you poured it. That's the problem, is people think that they're like, oh, I'm going to get a super long working time resin and then pour color swirl blanks. And really, I think that a better way to go is just figure out how to get stuff mixed and use alumilite clear slow, a faster working time. Because no matter which resin you pick, you have to wait until the end of the working time before you can pour. Now, you might have a longer gel period with deep pour, but I mean, literally, you'd have to wait overnight most likely before you could pour it. And then it's kind of tough. It gets to like, a lot of those epoxies that, like, the longer the gel period, a lot of times it actually doesn't work in your favor because it's not really thin enough to pour yet. Or when it is still thin, there's like literally like an hour left of it being kind of in this like gel state. And it's really tough. I don't use it, so I don't know. But the timing on something that's like a 1 or 2 hour working time, I think is ridiculous. It's just, most people probably are not going to get very good results. I think if you're going to go for something and you wanted to kind of have an extended gel period time, like your liquid diamonds or Amazing Clear Cast, I've actually found Amazing Clear Cast, the one thing that I don't like about it is that it's thicker. However, I do think I mean, that's kind of part of the equation of that gel period and why we're waiting till the end. There's a couple things going on, but one of the big ones is the thickness, the viscosity helps out. And so having a thicker viscosity, I've actually found that it works pretty well, Amazing Clear Cast. I like the plus type, Amazing Clear Cast Plus. It just turns a little bit better than the regular Amazing Clear Cast. I find that one to be, it's definitely a harder resin to turn. It's not harder to turn, it's like literally harder when you look at the specs. But that's a pretty good one for, longer, periods. And, I could look into that. But I'm getting perfectly fine results with clear, slow. So I think it should be fine. But anyway, it's kind of a weird thing with that working time. When you're doing things that need to wait till the end of the working time, it doesn't really give you a whole lot of advantage. All right, so let's see here. I'm scrolling down. Do we get another? Richard's in. I'm amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. You got to pick a color too. Mad scientist with steampunk. Yeah, get a screenshot of this. I love this as my, I want to make this my like avatar thing for things. Thumbnail, that's a good one. Dr. Higgins, pediatric. How does it turn? What was the question? Stefan asks, how does it turn? I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about the 3D models, they turn fine. It just depends on which resin you use. Some of them turn a little bit better than others. What I've found is the ones that are like ABS-like for 3D print resins typically are pretty good. I use and this isn't a blanket statement. I've only used Elegoo resin. I've tried the Soraya Tech. I didn't like it because, like any of the ones that I used, because it was really thick and it didn't have any advantages that I saw over the Elegoo ABS-like. So Elegoo ABS-like works really well. I like the way it turns. It prints fine. One other resin that I got sent to me, actually, and I'm going to do a video on this eventually, but this is made by, I can't think of the, Chidu Systems. So like Chidu Box is the slicer software, and they make a lot of the components on most of the 3D printers out there. But they started making a resin called Conjure, and they sent me there's like Rigid, and then there's another one called Tough, I think, or something like that. But this Conjure Rigid worked pretty well. I've only tried the black version, But I really like this stuff too. It turns pretty well so far with the experiments. So that might be one to look into, but if you want a dead certain, the ABS-like from Elegoo, that resin turns quite well. So you want to look at the ones that are when they're talking about it, it's not as brittle, because a lot of people are making like the little 3D model or 3D the miniatures of things. And like even if you just drop it, if you're using like the standard resins, a lot of those things are super brittle and the models and things will break. And so a lot of people don't like how brittle most of the resins are. So the ABS-like, typically they're going to have a little bit more flexibility in it. And so that's kind of one of the things. You want it to be kind of hard. So if you look at the specifications on a resin, look for something that's up around 80D for shore hardness. If you can find the specs, some of these things are a little bit difficult to find specs like that, but something up around the 80D shore hardness. And then look for something that has an elongation is another number specification that a lot of these resins will have, and that's basically kind of like how flexible is it before it breaks. So you want something on the higher end of those types of numbers. I don't honestly know what a good range is off the top of my head, but whatever the ABS-like from Elegoo is, that's somewhere in that neighborhood is a good one. And a lot of times you can get away with, I've just found that the resin 3D printing resins typically are going to turn better than like PLA for just your standard 3D printers. I really hated that stuff for the most part. It worked okay in cases where it was like something super thin. You didn't really run into too many problems when you're talking about something like honeycomb, where there's really not that much material. That worked okay, and I used to make it with the pinstripes. But either way, PLA I didn't really like turning. If you're doing something bigger like this, or like where there's a big chunk of it, PLA is horrible. It just, and even just the way that the normal printers work, it's laying down. Now things might have changed since I first started, because I first got into 3D printing with the filament style. And I'll admit, I'm not an expert at doing it that way, but it's laying down a filament. Like it's just kind of blobbing out this stuff. And a lot of times it just, I don't know. I didn't like it. It wasn't worth me spending the time turning. So anyway, let me scroll down here. Pocket protector. That's true. Yeah, we're missing SWAT this year. Sorry about that. Richard picked green. Okay, so we got gold, we got green, and I have that. I'm almost certain. Shoot, where did that go? I'm pretty sure that I have the 14 karat. Shoot, where did I put that? From I gotta make sure I'm not covering the mic up. Huh. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I ordered a 14 karat from Turner's Warehouse, and I have no clue where it went. Well, if you wanted that, I don't know if you actually even wanted that. Huh. I'm telling you guys, my shop is just such a mess at this point that I don't know where anything's going. Anyway, we got gold, we got green, and teal. Gold, green, teal. All right, so I'll quit messing around here, talking about 3D printers. So today is 8/17. Okay, I got to be honest, the lab coat's getting a little hot. We're doing the bubble boxes. We got red. No, we got gold. I'm just writing down some notes so I don't forget. Teal. And we got green. Okay. Great Scott. That's funny. Ah, that is funny. Yeah, we're doing the colors. So we can have lots of colors today. So super chatters get to pick some colors. Any color you want. I'm just going to mix up a bunch of colors, whatever you guys pick. And then we're just going to randomly kind of toss them into these little bubble holes. Okay? And I might even pick a couple. I think that Gretchen should pick a color. And I also think that Amy should pick a color as well. Because you guys are fun. Okay, so let's see here. The nice thing about, the nice thing about the deep pour resin is, I mean, you can mix that stuff up in this kind of small amounts like this. I mean, it would be liquid. They say 60 to 90 minutes, but I mean, even for like blanks, like 4-inch blanks and things like that, I mean, it's still like liquid, not even gel state, like liquid after hours, you know? So for something like this, I mean, you'd have hours of working time. Purple and blue. We got a lot of good ones. Titanium. We got pewter. Yakinum. You want to go for the yakinum? I don't have like titanium. That is a pretty neat color though, if I had it. All right, so let's see here. What else do I need to do? In other news, the mystery box number 2 is going to be, that video will be posted on Sunday, so be looking for that. And I also want to mention that we are going to be out of town next week. So Saturday's stream is still on. We're going to turn one of these bubble boxes up, see how they do. But next week, so the 24th and the 27th, no streams. I'm not going to be in town. We will be in Seattle area, the Pacific Northwest. I hear it's nice. Yeah, you were intrigued when you saw the thumbnail. Sweet. Yes. I did good on the thumbnail finally. Hard to do thumbnails, I gotta be honest. I need to hire just a thumbnail person, because I think that's why a lot of my videos don't get as many views as other people. Heck yeah, the mystery box. Lots of surprises and things. You guys are really going to want to watch this one, because I mean, let's just say explosions might have occurred. Might have occurred. I'm just saying. So, going to be one to watch. So pick a color, Amy. We need a color. Yeah, it's not that I've picked out Canada. Just international shipping has been nothing but problems for me. And it's not even for me, it's for my customers. I used to ship internationally, and I had nothing but problems, which meant the customers were frustrated. And you know, what ended up happening was the process or the experience was bad enough, and it's something out of my control. It was either pricing or, you know, length of time, or they lost it. Okay, so these are things that are all out of my control. And what would happen is the experience would be so bad that people would get the blanks, and because that experience sucked, whether or not the blanks were good or not, they were unhappy, kind of, or at least, you know, not super happy, you know, with the experience. And so it just got to the point where there was enough negativity that it wasn't worth it for me to you know, to keep sending stuff to people and having bad experiences like that rack up. I would rather focus on customers that I can make happy, you know, and again, the big thing was it was out of my control. I can't do anything about it. You know, shipping times are what they are. The costs are what they are. I can't do anything about those things. So it was just kind of, I was like, I'm done. What color turquoise? We got a good turquoise, actually. White is, well, we could do white on the red ones. We already have some white in these. So I don't know if that's a good color choice, but I agree. White is a really good one too. Purple, green. Let's do turquoise because we have a pretty, so we have a teal, but we have a turquoise also. That's pretty good. We'll do a turquoise for you. It didn't matter who I used. But again, it's pricing and it's other problems. So, you know, you can go with FedEx and then it's going to cost twice as much as it costs with the USPS. So it's not worth it. It doesn't work too well. Oh, orange. Okay, we'll go with orange because that's a little bit different. Turquoise would be pretty similar to the other one. So unfortunately, I don't ship internationally. A wild wig. Yeah. Okay, so let's get this first one rolling here. We got a few colors. Let's see, Gretchen. What did Gretchen pick? Blue? What did Gretchen? Oh my God! Now I'm getting. Easier with the super chats because I can see. Oh yeah, the titanium. Okay, so we got Yak in them. Yak's here too, I think. Okay, so and then the gold is going in the red box, so we'll do another round on those later. Maybe we'll use Amy's white in the red box also. Okay, so we got white and gold on those. All right, so let's get these cameras in here. See what's going on. Double cam. You can kind of see what I'm doing up in the corner there. Let's get these guys out of the way. Get these things out of the way. Get some gloves going. Whew. Like I said, this lab coat is pretty hot. I think we'll keep it on for the first round and then we're going to move on. All right, so I got teal. Blaze orange is my favorite orange. If I can find it. Blazer. We got Yakinum's already out. We got, let's see, a blue. Let's do this sapphire blue. Let's try that out. That looks pretty good. Nokon's another favorite of mine with the blues, but let's try this one out. And then let's see, blue, purple. Let's do ultraviolet. Oh man, it's ultra. Oh, actually, another one that might be kind of fun is this indigo blue. How do these things compare here? Sapphire. Indigo is almost kind of purplish. Let's go with the sapphire. We'll keep with that because the other one's kind of purpley. And let's see here. We need green. I'm thinking camo green. What do you guys think of that? That's a really good color. I love that one. Okay, so we got our colors. Let's mix up some resin. I got to be honest, I have no clue how much resin these are going to take. I'm just going to factor in enough to make, you know, the box, if I filled in the box. So these are 7/8 times 1 times, I think, 5.5 or so, times 0.554 times 29. That's not. There we go. So I think if I factored about 75 grams for each one of, you know, per thing, I think it's going to be more than enough. So let's just do that. We'll just estimate 75. If we have extra, then we'll pour it in the fun cup. Okay. So number one, we'll do the white ones first. You guys are pretty far zoomed out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Not that you can necessarily see, but I'm just writing down white box. We're using liquid diamonds. So we got, we're going to go 75 times, there's 5 of these. 75 times 5. And so the thing about this is there's going to be some big things. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to like mix up. How many colors do we have here? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we got 6 colors. I'm just going to mix up even amounts of every color and figure out how that works, you know? So what is 75 times 5? 375. Let's just mix up 400. That'll be easier. And then liquid diamonds is a 2-to-1 mix ratio. Where did I put the liquid diamonds? So it's, look in the top camera. Bigger jug, smaller jug. So we got 2 part A, 1 part B. 2-to-1. Is this going to work? So 400 divided by 3. Yeah. 30. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go 130 grams of part B and 260 of part A. And that'll give us 390, close enough. Okay. And then we got, let's see, divided by 6. 390 divided by 6 is 65 each. Teal, blaze orange, sapphire, camo green, yakinum, and ultraviolet. Man, these are going to look sweet. Okay, let's get things rolling here. So, with liquid diamonds, technically you could actually, this is one resin that you can actually do either by volume or by weight. I like weight. It's just whatever the scale says it is, right? Much easier, I think. 360, so total. So I think, is that right? It doesn't even seem right. 75 times 5. Yeah, okay. All right, so again, we got, where'd my notes go? 260 grams of the part A. And I got to be honest, guys, this liquid diamonds is pretty old, but it does work. I did an experiment. So if you got something weird going on with your resin and you're like, I don't know, or if it looks funny, what I have is there's chunks. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see down in there. There's like chunks. It kind of solidified. So there's some chunks in the bottom, which worried me, but they work okay. Is this thing? So what I'm going to do is just filter out chunks. Should have done this beforehand. Like I said, if you're worried about your resin, just do a test to see if it hardens normally and it doesn't turn yellow or do anything weird. As long as it works, then your resin's still good, you know. If something odd happens, then toss it and go buy another one. You know what I mean? Oh, I lost my chat. That's why the thing... Ooh, FaceTime the Turner's Warehouse booth. That sounds like fun. Oh, don't worry, Kim. The fun cup is already ready. Actually, this one's almost done. Okay, so that should be enough to get Get things rolling here. So we need how much was it? 260 of chunkless part A. I got all these things that I need to order, but we're going out of town, so I got to like order it while we're gone. That's always problematic. Oh, I didn't do enough. Oh man, so close. You think we're gonna get to 260? 4 more grams? I don't think so. That's not gonna work. Okay, let me get another funnel. I really thought that would be enough. Obviously, I was mistook. Oh, we got chunks. Ew. I don't know how old this stuff is, but sure did solidify in there. It happens. I don't really use liquid diamonds that often. So these things happen, you know. Vintage 70s colors. That would be kind of cool. But keep in mind, it's not going to necessarily look like this. It's going to be a little bit kind of funky once we turn it around. I'm not entirely certain if that would turn out as you think, you know. That's always the fun thing about these. Because I think like on the sides, you're going to get like these weird kind of colors going up and down, and it's going to be pretty cool. Oh, close enough. Zero that out. And then we need 130 of the part B. Maybe I should have started with a bigger cup. I think we'll be okay. I like to keep these little condiment cups around so I can sneak up on these things. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to actually dump this part A back in here too. We're going to use deep pour on the next one. Just see what the difference is, you know. Close enough. Okay. Mix this up, and of course you always want to, you know, make sure you fully mix your resin. Now I always give epoxies just a little bit of extra time compared to alumilite clear slow. I just find that the clear slow mixes quite well, but epoxies tend to require just a little bit more. You want to wait until it's, you know, there's no trails, wispy trails in there, and then add you know, another like minute just to make sure you've gotten everything all mixed up quite well. Yeah, the color swirls, that's not a bad idea. The problem is you'd have to wait till the end of the working time to do that. And unfortunately, we would not get through. Now, one thing to note, you don't have to do every one of these things all at once either. So if you are like, I don't have liquid diamonds, I have alumilite clear slow. Obviously, I'm not using that today because we got a lot of stuff going on. But if you wanted to, you could fill the big ones, you know, and do color swirl or whatever with your alumilite clear slow, and like section out things. But you can pour into, you know, certain holes, put it in the pressure pot, and then pull it out and then do the next one. So you don't have to do this all at once. Which, you know, that definitely is going to require a longer working time resin to get everything done and in one sitting. I just want to make sure. What is the question here? Zapper button. First time catching it. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of zapper buttons. No, I'm just going to mix up equal amounts and see where we get to. I'm not going to do each one the same necessarily. So we're just going to go until we run out of liquid. We're going to go totally random here. Oh, I'm spilling. I really should have used a bigger cup. Should have just pulled out one of the quart mixing cups, you know? Would have been smarter. Now I got resin all over the place already. Whew! This lab coat's hot. How do lab workers work? Good thing I worked out before the stream, because I'm already sweaty. Looking forward to like September. Usually it kind of starts cooling off about mid-September. All right, that ought to probably be good. We are going to move on. So we need 65 grams. 65. Let's see here. This is the only problem with this stuff, is you got to use a lot of cups sometimes. 65. Let's see how much. So one thing about paper cups is sometimes the liquid can kind of permeate through it. So we're going to try 3 ounce. I don't know. Oh, I bought new cups. Oh, guys. Might have some cool cups. 3 ounce. This one's a 5 ounce, I think. Oh, no. Didn't I order 5 ounce cups? Maybe it's still coming. Well, that's a super bummer. I thought I had 5 ounce cups. That would have been perfect. All right. Well, I got 3 ounce cups. Let's see how far that goes. It might be enough. I don't know. What is 3 ounces converted to grams? 28. Oh, we're fine. 3 ounce cups will work fine, if I really think about it. Okay. What was it? 65? There we go, 65, is that right? 65 per color. Okay. Oh, I dribbled on my scale. That'll throw off the weight. Okay. Got 3 down, 3 to go. Phillips here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whoa. Went over on that one. This is going to be a little bit, I got to be honest, the 5-ounce cups would have been a little bit better. These are going to be kind of a pain to mix the colors into. You're going to have to mix them pretty slow. Okay, there we go. And we got this one, can be the last cup. So let's see here, 65. Probably only need like a 1/4 teaspoon, if that. 1/8 would probably even do. I'm going to actually try that first. All right, 1/8 teaspoon. Always good to have the little mini stir sticks. Yeah, this is kind of a pain to mix this in. I wish those 5-ounce cups would have came. Pretty sure I ordered them. I know I looked at them. I was like, ooh, I don't have one of those. I need more rag things. Let's see here. I don't think pressure would have any effect on these 3D prints. All it does is squish bubbles. There shouldn't be any bubbles in this. It will collapse the air bubbles in the resin. Shouldn't have any effect on the 3D print though at all, so I don't think that's a big deal. The other nice thing is, you know, if you're using like liquid diamonds or deep pour, something with a long working time, I mean, really, you probably don't even need to pressurize it, you know. I usually do, just it'll ensure that it's dead clear, you know, bubble free. And you know, if you have a pressure pot, I recommend just, you know, toss it in there. But you know, with like in the case of like the deep pour, I mean, it would have to be in there for a long time. So you know, you may not even really want to with that one. So I may not actually, let's see. I may not even pressurize the deep pour, the next one. Oh, see, I'm making messes. Gotta have the right size cups for the job, you know? Problem is, I have a cup that is like a 10 ounce, but they cost quite a bit more, and I don't really want to waste a bunch of 10-ounce cups, you know? It's the trials and tribulations of a resin caster. Okay, so let's see here. Do a little bit of purple. Actually, let me look and just double check and make sure. Yeah, I think we might want to go with a 1/4 teaspoon. Dang it. I think a 1/4 teaspoon is a better amount. So this is 65 grams. This will just kind of give you an idea. 65 grams total. I don't think that an 1/8 teaspoon is really enough in that case. I think that a 1/4 is going to be a lot better. You're going for kind of opaque, you know. And if you want to make absolute sure, a 1/2 teaspoon will definitely be as opaque as it's going to get. Ooh, this purple's nice. I love that one, the ultraviolet. Nice deep purple. That actually doesn't really look like it's very... I think we're going to go for even more. That still doesn't really look like it's very... I'm just going 1/2 teaspoon. This is ridiculous. I'm going to quit messing around, guys. Because I want this stuff to be dark, you know, opaque. As opaque as it'll get. I need to move the camera up. There. Because I don't really want to work up here, you know? I want to work on the edge. Living on the edge, guys. Living on the edge. There we go. That's better. Man, so the problem is, like I said, this kind of takes a while. Definitely not wearing the lab coat on the next one. Yeah, Nick might have the goggles, but I'm pretty sure that I did it first. Because I had him before he had a channel. Just saying. I'm not, you know, we're not competing or anything. But he may have more subscribers and views and all that kind of good stuff, but I had the goggles first, okay? I can prove it. I have the receipt still. Okay, we're definitely using the 10-ounce cups next time because you know me, I like to fling the resin around, get it mixed quick. No time for messing around. Okay. Add some more blaze orange. I will say, you know, rather than using like a measuring spoon, if you can kind of get good with like just estimating scoops on a popsicle stick, problem is the consistent, you know, like I don't know that you're going to consistently be that, you know, the same. But when it comes to powders, these mica powders, you don't need like specifically a 1/2 teaspoon. But if you can kind of get, you know, used to knowing how much like a 1/2 teaspoon is and kind of, you know, fairly consistently just scoop that amount out, I think that it's easier just to scoop. I like to be pretty consistent though. I'm in the habit of doing it that way because of, you know, for the blanks that I sell, I want to be as consistent as possible with these things. But I think on a normal basis, if you can kind of get an idea and just go with it, I think you're better off just scooping. Okay, what am I doing? That in there. I'm gonna get a different spoon. We're going for 1/2 teaspoons here. So I think it'll be actually easiest to do 2/4. It was a little bit low on that one. I may run out of time with this stuff. An easier way to do this would have probably been to just dump the colors in the bottom first. I'm always worried that some of it's going to get kind of stuck to the bottom of the cup if you do that, but it sure is easier to set things up and just dump resin in your cup and then stir. But I didn't know which cups. I didn't have the cups ready, so that's kind of part of the reason why I didn't do that. Okay, what else we got here? 2 more to go, guys. Yeah, the blue. Can you please tell us a secret? I mean, on the spot like that? Jeez. A secret. I'm more of like a interesting fact kind of guy. I don't really have a lot of secrets. I share everything that I know. Secret. I like 80s music. How about that? That's a secret. I get down to it. I rock it in the shop sometimes. It's not my like only music that I listen to, but I will get down with some 80s. How about that? I don't know. The original color Gretchen picked was titanium. I mean, I'm thinking this Yakinum is about as titanium as it gets. Yeah, you can pick a color. So we're already done with this round, but we're doing red ones next. So if you want to pick a color to go with red, we already have gold and white for those. But we are going to need to supplement there, you know. Need some more colors. And the other thing is you don't even need to put a ton of colors in here in these things necessarily, you know. I mean, it's always fun to put as many colors as you can in there, but you know, you could I think like a 2 or 3 color, you know, thing would be pretty cool in those too. Okay, so we got half teaspoons in each one of these guys. See, look at how much easier this is to mix. That's a man cup right there. These are just little children cups. The only problem with this cup is it's a little harder to get the needle in to squirt, you know. Paper cups would have been kind of nice because they're a little bit easier to just pick up and dump. You can squeeze them. I will say that. But like I said, if you got stuff sitting in them for a long time, a lot of times it just kind of like bleeds through the paper. So a lot of times I'll actually just use 2 paper cups. And that solves the problem. Okay, so let's see here. I probably might need a few more syringes, huh? We'll get some of these 3 milliliter ones ready. So we got 6 colors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Love playing with these syringes. They're so much fun. I think I got a needle on the ground somewhere. Dropped one. Okay. So I'm going to start just injecting some blue here and there. Oh, coming out a lot faster than with the alumilite clear. I'm doing a terrible job at this. Oh man. This one might be kind of messed up. So found out that it squirts out pretty quick. Might be smarter to do the bigger pores first. I don't know. The big cavities. So this process is going to take a while, obviously. So just be, prepared to kind of pack it in for the duration. There we go. A little bit of blue. Oh. And we'll do this one. The really small holes might be kind of a pain, I will say. Some of these holes are pretty small. Just be ready for that. Maybe I shouldn't have done 5 at a time, huh? I'm going to just dump some purple in this big cavity. What do you think about that? I'm also going to dump some in this medium large one. I'm just doing this randomly. No clue what I'm doing. We're going to go for some yakinum in this one. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Because I kind of got to get my head in the way, I'm gonna bring the other side camera in closer so that you can kind of get a view of like what I'm doing a little bit more also. Might actually just be a better view overall. I don't know. I think I'm gonna make that bigger. You can kind of see. There's a small hole. There we go. I don't know, guys. I might run out of time on this. I did kind of mess around for a long time. This stuff's already starting to get hot. I might have been ambitious. Now, it may be possible to just kind of pour it on the top, I think you're going to trap a lot of air pockets. You just tried to do that. But it definitely would go a little bit faster, you know what I mean? Let's see here. Maybe, let's see, I don't know. I'm going to go with this. Go for a little bit of, oh, yep. Didn't mean to do that. I didn't realize there was another purple right there, but who knows? That could be kind of cool. Okay, so we're gonna go for another green. Yeah, let's do the green here. Kind of missed. Oh. Over pour. I can slurp it up though. Look at that. See, these things come in handy, these needles. They're good slurpers. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna need teal. I would recommend doing one at a time, guys. I really think that's a smarter way to go. Oh. All right, we're gonna try and fill at a faster rate. Yeah, those small ones are kind of a pain. I'm just gonna be completely honest. Small ones are not super fun. Okay, let's see here. We need some blue. Oh, overflow. It's definitely not something you can do fast. I haven't looked at the chat. I really can't focus on the chat right now. I'm sorry, guys. There's just way too much happening here. Definitely recommend getting the 10 milliliter syringes too. You can not have to keep refilling, you know. It's hard to pick where you're gonna put the colors, you know what I mean? Which one to fill? Which one? Okay, let's move on to a different color here. Get our orange going. This syringe doesn't want to pick up anything. Okay, orange. Orange. I may have to put these things in as they are if the resin starts getting super thick. And then just finish up some of the little bubbles. Oh God, way overflow. Ah. Sometimes these things kind of keep going, so just be careful about that. Like, oh, yeah, that one definitely likes to do that. Ah. All right, we're still going. Are you guys having fun yet? Okay, let's try purple. Let's do some purple filling. Okay. We're still going, guys. Where did the purple go? Is this the purple one? Yep. All right, now this is a case where I probably need somebody in my ear. I'm not even talking or doing anything. But I can't really look up either. All right, we're getting there. Slowly but slowly. Oh, that's the wrong. I thought that was empty. That was the teal. I need, here we go. Here's the empty one. Okay. Titanium time. This is kind of like playing Operation. Oh, this stuff's getting really hot. I think we might have to call it. And then I think I'm going to do just one next time. The problem is you can't rush this stuff. Okay. What else do we need? I don't know. At this point, I'm getting really frustrated with this, so I think I'm just going to pop these guys in the pressure pot, and we're going to move on. I'll fill them when I have more time, but I don't think 5 of these at a time is a really good idea, even with a 45-minute working time resin. I don't want to waste all of these things, you know, by trying to squeeze it all in. Better off just pressurizing and then grabbing another. What I'm going to do, I have a hard wood, piece of wood in the bottom of there, but I'm going to put these guys all on a tray. Just don't want to waste, ouch, the work that we've done. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about the working time on those things. I'm also sweating to death in this lab coat, so not helping the situation. Oh, okay. Woo! There we go, intro cam. Oh, okay, I need to take the gloves off and unsweat myself. Let's take this time to talk about my probably sweated out t-shirt at this point. Vets Turn is an organization that helps combat veterans out by providing them turning supplies, like a full-on turning setup, lathe and tools and instruction. And so Easywood Tools is making these t-shirts, and all the money goes to support Vets Turn. So if you want to pick one of these guys up, there's a link down in the description. I don't have the link offhand, but it's a really cool t-shirt. I think they're like 35 bucks. And but you got to get in on it quick because they're only doing this until August 22nd. So if you want to help support Vets Turn, get a really cool t-shirt. It's got all these turning tools on it. It looks like the flag. It's a really nice, it's like a nice, you know, comfy, high quality t-shirt too. It's like one of those, like, it's like thinner, but like not super terrible thin. Really good for like hot days in the shop. So I didn't do it. There's still a bunch of holes. I just kind of gave up on it because I didn't want the resin to set up while I was doing that. But I could feel the resin in this syringe was getting really hot, and I was just like, eh. So like I said, I would highly recommend, if you're going to do these guys, do them, you know, probably I would even say like one at a time. I'm not messing around with 5 of them on the next round. We're going to do one, and I'm going to see how that goes. I might even have Nikki kind of change those super tiny holes, even though they're kind of cool. I got to be honest, they are a complete pain to fill. So we'll have to kind of see on that. I mean, the file is up on my website though right now if you want to grab these guys and 3D print them. You guys know me. I get really frustrated when things take like 20 hours to fill little tiny holes. So I was doomed off the bat, kind of, with this one. Not my kind of casting, but I know that these things are going to turn out pretty cool. So I want to switch to the, you can't see it. I'm going to switch to the camera so you can see the, I guess I could just move the cup, huh? We're going to go for the overhead cam. There we go. We're going to fill this thing. I actually forgot and I threw a couple of the colors away. Already. So you can see, I mean, we're at the end of the working time at this point. And unfortunately, I think I'm just going to toss these syringes because I think I waited a little too long on them. We're going to get a good color swirl in this. This is like whatever temperature this stuff's at is a pretty good one for liquid diamonds, it looks like. I don't trust that. One thing I also want to mention, sometimes when people talk about temperatures of resin, so it looks like we're at like 120. I don't know, it's flipping all over the place. It looks like it's like 120 to 130 though. One thing I want to mention about the temperatures, you know, for pouring and mixing colors, you're going to get extremely different results if, well, how do I explain this? Because I think Jake might do this. I don't know. A few people do this where they mix up their cup, put the color in, and then just walk away. They don't mix anymore. And all they do is they just take the temperature of the top surface without mixing it every time. All right, and that is going to radically change the temperature of that we're talking about. What I do is every time I take the temperature, I mix the cup up, then take the temperature. And so when I'm talking about temperatures, that I'm using to pour at, you need to do it that way for that to work. If you just let it sit there, the middle of the cup is going to be the hottest, basically. So that's why I stir it up, and it doesn't really matter which way you do it, though. Okay, I want to make that like very clear. Whatever way you do it, you need to keep doing it that way, though. You can't mix and match in that sense, you know, like use my numbers and then do it a different way. Whichever way you're going to do it consistently, and you'll be fine. But those numbers are going to slightly change a little bit, I think. Does anybody do it that way where you don't mix it ever again? Just kind of curious. Just wiping off the stir stick. Okay, so this next one, we got gold. We got, yeah, I need to drink some water. Well, these are blunt tip syringes. It's not really, you're not gonna hurt anybody. Think we'll be okay. And if not, I'll let you guys know. All right, so let's see here. I need to get a whole new pack of syringes. So we got gold, white, and Chad picked. I don't even know what Chad picked at this point. Oh man, these glasses on my head are cutting off the circulation in my brain. I was like, I got a headache. Oh man. What else did I miss? Did I miss anything? Okay. Oh, that's what I was looking for, was Chad's color. Anybody remember what Chad picked? I don't know if he picked a color. Let me know if Chad picks a color. We're going to do one this time. Because that's going to be a lot better. It's still going to take a long time, but five, that was kind of dumb. What I was trying to do was get half of them, you know, get all 10 done for the mystery boxes. But I bit off more than I could chew. Okay, so number 2 is red. And let's see here. So we're doing one of them, one box. So I'm going to mix up about 80 grams. The other thing is you're going to actually have, like if I used liquid diamonds again, which I'm kind of debating which way to go. The problem is I'm looking at the clock, and I mean, I think it would take me, I don't know, it's going to take a long time to get 5 of these things done. Without kind of rushing. So I think I'm going to focus on one and just show you how fast or how long it takes to do that. I was going to use deep pour, but I don't even know if that's really necessary to do for one. I might do the deep pour on my own I can knock out 4, you know, I can knock out a lot of them at a time with deep pour. I don't know. There's just so many holes to fill. It's exhausting. I'm getting resin all over my prints. I think in the interest of time, let's get one of these things done for sure, and just do one. All right. So let's see here. We're doing one box, so I'm going to just estimate about. I mean, the same probably, like, but I think it might be easier just to do like, I'm going to do 90 grams. It's just an easier, amount. And we're gonna use liquid diamonds again, I think, on this one. I don't know. Let's just go with the deep pour. I'm gonna do deep pour. I'm gonna do 2 of them at a time. How about that? Let's do that. So deep pour is another 2-to-1 mix ratio. And when I ordered this, I got 2 jugs of this part A. Is that right? Yeah. Right, 2-to-1 by volume. I just want to make sure. One problem is when you get like a 1.5 gallon kit, you got to make sure that you're pouring the right. Yeah. So there's 2 parts of part A to 1 part B. I think these might actually be new jugs. I don't know. I got new jugs. Look at that. Oh, there's maybe not. This one's open. Okay. Jen's here. Made it back from the pharmacy. Chartreuse. I have no clue what color that is. So I'm just going to pick whatever I want. Whatever I think is chartreuse. What do you think about that? We have white, actually. Amy picked... she threw out like 5 different colors, but white was I thought white would be a cool one with the red. And I think I'm just going to use dye for that one. So what am I doing? I'm going to get things kind of prepped ahead of time this time, which I think is a smarter way to do this. So we got, let's see here, we got gold, white, and chartreuse, I think are what's going in here. Gold, white, chartreuse. And I'm going to add black with micro starlight. That is like my new favorite color, guys. Like space, the final frontier. It's like looking up at the night sky if you lived like in the middle of nowhere. There's no light pollution, so dark, no moon. Just looking up at the sky and seeing a bunch of stars. That's what black with the micro starlight is. So fun. All right, let's see here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, 4 needles, and a partridge in a pear tree. I wish I had more of the 10 milliliter ones. I'm definitely, I'm going to go use my Amazon link and go buy some more of those things. Thought that I had the big box, but yeah, I really think that having the bigger ones is a better way to go. If you had to pick, if you were going to just pick one size, I mean, I don't know. The problem is the 3 milliliters are okay, but I mean, you're just so limited. If you just bought a box of the 10 milliliter ones, you can use them for small amounts, but you can also, you know, fill them pretty far. I see the zoom. But I mean, that's way far out, so that's stupid. Okay. All right, so we need 90 grams each. That's 180 divided by 3. Would be 60, I think. Yeah, so we need 60 and 120. All right. I'll zoom out a little bit. So, really dark. Zoomed in farther. I need a ring light, guys. Really need a ring light. All right, there we go. Oh, is this by volume? Ah, it's by volume. My favorite. I like weight better. It's just so much easier to, it's like obvious. It's 60 grams, you know, whatever. So now we're doing 120 mil. Let's see here. 16. What did we do? 180. So we're going to do 6 ounces. Is that 180? Yeah. So we're going to do 6 ounces on this cup, and we're going to do 2 and then, you know, 4. So 2 ounces of, or 2 ounces of part B to 4 ounces of part A. Okay. So 2 parts, part A. Four ounces. To 1 part, part B, 2 ounces. Total of 6. You always want to get like down, you know, like look at the line. Don't try to look from like above, you know, at a weird angle. Get down on even with the line that you're going for. Otherwise, you know, it can the view can kind of like throw off the measurement. You think you got to the 4 ounce line, but you're actually below it or something. So just make sure that you get down. Make sure to get down. Okay. Yeah, you can get down on your knees too. Anyway, that might be hard on your knees, but you know, take a seat, do something, go pull a bench over, a chair, if that works, if it'll get you down there, just so you can see. Oh, greenish yellow, nice. That's a good idea. Greenish yellow. What if I just mix green and yellow? And again, you know, with these epoxies, I always kind of mix a little bit more than I do with alumilite clear slow usually. The deep pour mixes pretty well. Another thing that I really like about deep pour is it's a thin viscosity. Like it's the same, I would say about the same consistency, same thickness, viscosity as alumilite clear slow, mixed up, you know, once you get the A and B together. Liquid diamonds, that stuff is super thin. Like that stuff's thinner than alumilite clear slow. So it works really well for anything that you need to kind of have, you know, like fill in stuff and have it flowing in and around things. Like that's a really good one to go with for that type of thing. Oh, Peter, you need to get an iPhone holder. Like a chest strap thing, you don't have to hold it up. Oh, I have a cushion mat. I actually kind of need to, I've worn this thing out. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I can get a shot with that one. And that one's kind of stuck. I can't, I don't have any cameras that work. It'll get you the shot that I need. You can kind of see it with this one now. It had like the diamond plate texture on it. It's like there's a giant pile of resin that won't come off. But in the middle, like I've worn down the diamond plate. Can you see? Like I kind of need a new one, but it's still comfy. It just doesn't have the diamond plate stuff. I'm gonna shoot this thing back to this shot so that you guys can kind of see the side view. I'm gonna keep going with this stuff. Good shoes actually kind of help. I would probably say more than padding. Because even if you have padding, if your foot isn't supported properly, your knees and things, back, hips can kind of get out of whack. So I think a combination is really the best thing. Get some decent shoes, the proper like insert, for your foot, and then get one of them padding things, and you'll be good to go. It does look like a bubble gum. That's true. Giant bubble gums. Okay, I think that's good. And we're gonna go with the 10. Well, in this case, so now we got how much? 180 divided by 180. Yeah, it's still 45. I'm just gonna go with these cups. The 10, whatever these are, 10 ounce, I think. And so, and I think, I don't know, I think we can just still do the same, like, I don't know. I don't know what the difference would be. You could focus like certain, like the large ones are like one color, but the problem is, I mean, I don't know, gold, white. So we could do like a color pattern on these things, where like the white is like the small holes, and then we could do like gold as the big ones. What else do we got? Chartreuse. And then the black. So, I mean, we could do that. The problem is like estimating how much resin that's going to need for all these things is going to be kind of tough though. Like, you would really need to kind of make sure. Now, we can figure it out. Dang, I don't have a 10 milliliter syringe. I do have a bigger one, I think, actually, though. I bought like a multi-pack of those syringes. So one thing that we can do, I got an even bigger one, 20 mil. We can fill this thing up and kind of see how much does it take to fill one of these big holes up. I think that would actually be a really smart idea. So let's go with, what do you guys think about the gold? I don't know. Gold for the big ones. Black would be kind of cool too, the black space one. I'm least enthused about chartreuse, so I think, sorry, Chad. I think that would be a really cool thing for the small ones anyway. That kind of like a limey green type thing. So we'll do those in the small holes, and then we'll do white in like the medium holes, like these ones, I think. And then gold in these larger medium size. Maybe this one too. I don't know about that one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, how much do I have here? So if I divide it by 4, 45 grams, and I'm going to do it by weight. It actually kind of evens out a little bit, like volume and weight. It's pretty close usually. So I'm just going to put 45 grams. I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to see how far that goes. Okay, so that's more than the 20 milliliters. And so we're gonna do black in the big ones. Is that right? Yeah, black and then gold. Yeah. So I'm going to add just probably like a drop of black. You guys are seeing what I'm doing here. Drop of black, and I had to go get my micro starlight glitter. This stuff is the greatest. Micro starlight. And I don't know. We don't need like a ton, but I'm gonna fill it up with a good sized scoop in here. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna make some black because it's gonna take up the majority of these holes, but I don't know how much each hole takes. So I'm hoping that 45 grams is enough to take up a hole. That's kind of the game plan here. And then like it'll cover it, basically it'll be enough. And I'm going to inject it with this volume thing, you know, a 20 milliliter syringe, and see how much it takes. And hopefully that'll kind of give us an idea. Bare minimum, we're going to know. I mean, if it takes 20 milliliters to fill this, we know how much to fill in a syringe at least. But it should give us a good idea of how much to kind of weigh out also. But don't you love that? I love this. That's my favorite. Black with the little micro starlights. I love it. That's really looking good. That was a good one. Okay, so we got our syringe. Got our giant syringe. Sometimes it takes a little while, like there's like suction. This is not thick resin, but it takes a while for it to kind of suck it all into the syringe. Okay, so I think we got about 20 milliliters or so. This thing is pretty much full. So let's see if 20 milliliters will fill one of these guys up. I mean, we could probably just measure it and do a bunch of math, but that doesn't sound like very much fun to me. Okay, so I'm going to say, I mean, that took about 10. Maybe, well, actually, a little bit more than 10. 10 plus, like, 1, 2, 3. Like, I don't know. I think you could estimate like 15 milliliters for each one of them things. So 15, 30, 60 milliliters is what we need. So we did 45. We're going to need a little bit more. So I'm going to add, I'm going to zero that out. We put 45 in. We need 15 more at least. And let's see how that does. I'm going to add 16 just to, I don't know, just to make sure we got enough. I don't know if I don't think I'm really going to need to add more black and all that stuff. I think that we're still going to be good. And unfortunately, I really don't need the syringe at this point because I'm just going to dump it out, but using the cup. Well, that didn't really work. So that was a weight measurement too. So I would say that by weight, definitely more than... Oh, we still have some in the syringe. Oh, it's so close. But I think that you're going to need like, what did we do, 60? I don't know. I think if you just estimated resin-wise and have a little bit of extra that you're going to maybe waste, I think if you just estimated 20 grams for each one of those things, I think you'd be pretty good off. 20. You could probably say like 17 or something, you know, something like that is how much they actually hold. But I think if you're just playing it safe, I would just say 20. And you should be plenty good. Yeah, a little extra for your fun cup. It's never a waste. That's true. We're going to add up a little bit more in here. Let's see, where's my Starlight glitter? Don't really need all that much Starlight. We're just supplementing, you know what I mean? Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Love this stuff. Yeah, math doesn't sound very fun. All right. Plenty. Okay. So we got the black in. Next is going to be the gold. We got a little leakage right there. I don't know how that happened. Something's going on here with our mold. That's kind of a bummer, but now these are probably not going to take a whole lot more than like 50 grams, I'm guessing. So I'm just going to put 50 in here. We should have more than we need. I already mixed up extra. I'm just going to put 50 in here. And obviously my plan of using the syringe thing is not doesn't really work that well. Conversion of volume to where did I put that gold? Dang it. I'm almost certain that I got gold from Turner's Warehouse, that 10 karat or whatever gold. And now I don't know what I did with it. Maybe I didn't get that. I don't know. So we're going to have to go with the, where is it? Oh, wait. There it is. I found it. 14 karat nuggets. 14 nugget karat gold. What do you think? Found it. Okay, so I actually have never used this before. I think it's like that other one that I was using from alumilite. Pretty much. That's a pretty good one. So let me look at. It's a little bit different. Well, I don't know. Hold on a minute. Let me open this packet up. Yeah, kind of similar. Pretty similar, I would say. But alumilite sends it in a baggie, which is a gigantic royal pain in the butt. So I would go with the eye candy version, personally. I don't know how much we need. Let's go with a full teaspoon. No, we don't need a full teaspoon. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just try half teaspoon and see where we're at. So indecisive today. That's probably going to be good. Good enough. Just be aware, this stuff is like flaky and it's going to be flying all over your shop and get all over you. Just to let you know. Okay, so let's try. Let's try and fill one of these guys. See how much it takes. I mean, bare minimum, hopefully this will just help if anybody's making one of these. This was a 3 milliliter syringe. We didn't get it full. I'm thinking like at least 6 is what we're gonna need. Yeah, so about 6 milliliters syringe. In the syringe will fill one of those, the second biggest circle. This one there's a leak going on with so my print must not have printed super amazingly well on that one. We got some leakage. That can happen. That's one of the problems, you know, when you're doing these kind of 3D print things. If anything kind of gets a little bit wonky when you're printing, if there's a little separation, then you might get a little bit of, you know, bleed going on into these other cells. Not a huge deal, but something to be aware of. Okay, I'm going to probably end up with resin in this if I don't cover it. Always a good idea to cover your boxes of stuff. All right, so we need white and chartreuse still. These two we're going, you could do random, but I have kind of a plan. So we're just gonna stick to, you know, filling the same cells on each one of these. I think I'm gonna get a little gold up in the top there, in the top corner as well. Also, keep in mind, if you have like super thick, chunky stuff that you're adding to your resin, these needles may not really work as well. You know, it may kind of clog it up, basically. Just kind of be aware of that if you got like, I don't know, I can't think of anything offhand, but something super, like glitter might not work, especially like thicker, chunky glitter. Oh, I need to fill this one too. Unless it's leaking. I don't see it leaking anywhere though. Okay. Probably going to need to kind of fill this black back up. I can tell this one's the one that dipped down, that leaked. So somewhere there's kind of a hole. Okay, so we need white. White's going to be the next size things. So I'm just going to go with, I don't know. How much did we put in there? 50? Let's just do 30 grams this time. I don't think we're going to need a whole lot more than that. I don't know. 30, and then I'm just going to use dye on this. So 30 times 0.02. I'm going to make sure I don't go over. So I'm going to put 0.5 grams of white dye in here. Will be well within the tolerances. Camera? What's wrong with the camera? Well, that's why I have the other one, because I'm going to have to put my head in the way sometimes. There's a 2-camera view for head problems. Oh. You got a leak in the bottom of this thing even, possibly. That's not good. I think I got a bad print. Or is this one leaking? What the heck is going on here? Okay, so this is the gold. This one's nothing. Not entirely certain where the leak is coming from. That's weird. You'd think it's like it isn't leaking anymore, though. I see, okay. I got a little tiny leak, so I must have had, like I said, this print had something going on with it. So easy fix. I can see it kind of coming out the side there. So here's the fix. I can get this to work. I'm just going to put some tape on there, and it'll seal it right up. Got a little overzealous with my tape here. I'll cut some of it off so it's not in my way. Got resin all over my gloves, so problem is my hands are kind of sweaty, so now I gotta wait. So we're gonna take a drink break. Take it easy, Chad. Have a good night, Amy. Sticking my hands in front of the fan because I'm trying to get my hands dried to the point where I can put some gloves on again. Tell you what, resin likes hotter temperatures, but I like colder temperatures, so given the choice, I'd rather cast in cooler temperatures than hot. Okay. We're back, I guess. We're at the white now. All right, so another thingy. Definitely wish I had another 10 milliliter syringe. All right. I think this thing's going to be pretty cool looking, though. What do you guys think about these colors? I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do about this chartreuse color, but I'll figure it out. Now we're getting into the yeah. Okay. Need to get the stick out of my cup because it's just being a pain. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on this one. Hopefully that'll be good. So chartreuse is going to be for like the super small holes. White is going to be for the like pretty much everything else. The next size up, like these guys. And remember, we got red, you know, like the blank or the box itself is red in between all these things. So there's a lot of stuff going on this thing. Oh, that one kind of spilled over. You can always suck it back in with your syringe. Too much there too. And these things are an inch high, so you don't really need to fill these things like to the brim necessarily. I really like doing two of these at a time. This feels a lot more manageable. Needs purple. Yeah, you could do anything you want. And so you got a couple different things going on. You can change up the 3D printed, you know, the 3D print color. You're a little bit you have a little less option, you know, out of the bottle with that. There's only so many colors that they make for resin 3D printing. Is my head still? No. For resin 3D printing, but you can add. There are dyes available that you can use to alter your colors of your resin 3D printing stuff. The photo whatever resin 3D printing resin. And it's also just a lot easier kind of having a game plan. I was kind of like, which one do I go to next? And I was trying to hurry on that last one. And it just didn't really make for a very enjoyable, or I don't know, it was kind of a messed up situation. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Where are we at here? So we go with this one. These don't have to be exactly the same. These two blanks, but kind of easy just to copy. From the other one. Yeah, I did okay on the last one. It was too much. I would have rather, but the problem is, like, I don't want part two. I need to turn one of these things, you know, on Saturday's stream. So that's why it was like, this was kind of silly. I think I'm gonna go, some of these holes don't really require a whole lot of resin. Whoa. Out of control. So you got to be very careful. How much you add. Okay, so I think we're on to chartreuse, which I don't even know what I'm gonna. how I'm gonna make that. I do need to fill this black because it like leaked. I'm gonna fill that up. This one too. Okay. Now I kind of messed up because this one had some issues going on somehow. I got another leak or something. What's going on here? The white. Huh. Where's that going to? One other thing, keep in mind that sometimes like you get like you can push an air bubble out of your syringe and you may think it may look like you filled the thing, but you didn't really. You know? I think that's what happened there. Okay, I'm gonna get a new rag. Okay, so chartreuse. I do actually have a glitter that is chartreuse somewhere. Kind of ugly as far as I was concerned, but yep, there it is. I pushed it so far back, I thought it was so ugly that I I pushed it to the back of the thing. I'm thinking that this is chartreuse, guys. Is this chartreuse or what? I mean, I don't think it gets more chartreuse than that. Okay. So, hopefully we got enough resin. I think we do, but I'm just going to dump some chartreuse in there. Now keep in mind, this is glitter, so, you know, this may cause it to not really come out. Another thing is, you know, one thing to think about, we're using deep pour, right? And it's got a super long working time. Oh, there is a hole. I think it's coming in there, possibly. I don't know, I can't tell what's happening. I'm gonna pour a little bit more in here. That feels like it's starting to warm up. I don't believe it. We're using deep pour, which has a super long working time, so things that may sink or float in the resin will do that for sure. It may look fine now, but you know, given hours to settle, some of these things may settle out. So I don't know. I think that this glitter will be okay. It's super fine glitter, you know, but I don't know for sure. It's getting sucked into the needle just fine, so that's not a problem. Okay, now this is where we need to, I got to take it really slow. Yeah, I really don't like these like super tiny holes. They're tough to fill without just completely overdoing it. And part of the problem is I don't know if, yeah, see, I think that we're not even filling it. You got to be very careful with these small ones. Try and get the needle, the syringe down in a little ways. Don't go all the way to the bottom though. I'm finding that doesn't actually work. But get it in there and just kind of tap the back of the syringe, and it'll fill up. Okay, did I get them all? Still have a little bit of white. I'm gonna fill a little bit of chartreuse in there for the heck of it. I think I got them all now. I don't know what's happening on right there. Okay, we're good. I think I got all the holes filled on this one. Yeah, I know it's hard to take it slow though, because those small ones, like very little pressure on the syringe, like overflows it. It's really hard to like dial in, I guess, in a sense. So you're right, take it slow, but just be aware. Tough. I'm gonna put this first one in the pressure pot and have it ready there. I'm not worried about the resin setting up necessarily, although we still have leaks going on, looks like. Yeah. That's not good if you get a leak on your print. Okay, so I'm gonna just put the tape down, pick this thing up, and just put it on the tape. Not a bad idea. If you want to just make, absolute certain that this doesn't happen, just tape up your boxes first every time, just to make sure. You don't want the resin leaking out. And this especially with like the super slow setting resins, I mean, if I let this go, I mean, it would all just kind of leak out probably with deep pour. So you really want to take care of it. Now, alumilite clear slow, I mean, it would have already set up by now. But there's not enough time really to use that resin, But that's another reason, you can do this in steps, like I was saying, kind of like I did on the first one. You could use alumilite clear slow and do it in 2 or 3 steps, and you're really not going to run into issues where all your resin is going to like leak out on you. That's another kind of advantage to using clear slow. A lot of people, have issues with like a leak on their pressure pot that they just can't seem to fix, and that's not really that big of a problem. I mean, unless it's like a massive leak, but those are not very common. They're huge leaks are easy to find. If it's a really bad leak, it's generally not that hard to find it. But like the slow leaks that could, effectively drop the pressure in your pressure pot enough over like 8 hours to where it's too low for slow setting resins, that can be kind of problematic. And so alumilite clear slow is kind of nice to use for that, because, really your pressure pot doesn't really need to be that sealed. Don't need to worry so much about it. Oh God, overflow. These syringes are, they can be kind of finicky. Is my head in the way again? Tap it in. Okay, we're doing good, I think. Yeah, I'll definitely say I think you're way better off picking like a color or a couple colors to do those super tiny holes, because like the way that I was doing it before, where I was skipping back and forth, like it's much better to get in the mode of like, okay, I know how much pressure, you know, I got to do this really careful. But switching back and forth between the bigger holes and then the super small ones, that just really wasn't a great formula. Oh, am I out of? I think I need a refill. But you know, at the same time, it is kind of nice to do small. But even if you switched, if you know you have a bunch of different colors lined up, and you wanted them to be all the small ones to be kind of like different colors, even if you just focused on doing the smallest holes, like that's all you're doing, and switching between needles, you know, colors, I think that's a better way to do it, because it just requires like so much. It's like a totally different experience than all the rest of those holes. How little of a push, you know, you want to be giving that thing. Not a bad idea to kind of, I don't know, maybe take a toothpick even or something really small to make sure that you didn't like get an air bubble in there. Whoa. I don't know, it's just kind of tough. Okay, I think I got it all. I'm not seeing any other holes. I think we're good. That went a lot faster at the small ones this time. I don't know. I think we're good. So I'm gonna see if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see the pressure pot there. Still digging this California Air Tools pot. Oh man. It's a really, really good high quality pressure pot. I like it. And now that I'm getting into, you know, doing some vertical, I'm thinking about switching over some of my blanks, or at least kind of starting a new line of vertical pour blanks. Maybe I should put it that way. It's actually kind of nice having a little bit, you know, the California Air Tools is actually a little bit taller than my CA Technologies pots. And so you can fit just a little bit more room in there vertically, you know. Kind of nice. Not having to worry about it. All right, whoo. Now I just also want to stop, you know, with the deep pour, this stuff is like such a super long working time that pressure is probably not really necessary, but like like air bubbles will probably have enough time to like float out. However, you know, again, I say like if you have a pressure pot, you may as well use it. Now the deep pour, this stuff is going to have to sit in here for a long time. I'm not even actually coming into the shop tomorrow, which is kind of nice, but like I think you would want to leave this in for, I mean, like a bare minimum 24 hours in your pressure pot. Okay. So, but I don't think you have to pressurize it. I think you'd be fine just, you know, not doing anything, letting it, you know, cure on its own. So I think that's about it. Any other thoughts that I have? So, yeah, hopefully these will be cool. I don't know. Whew. Anyway, let's see here. So, I promised I would show you guys how I clean up the needles. So I ended up having to just dump the first batch. What I found is, I don't know, I probably could have saved the needle parts, but I got tons of those, so whatever. But on the first ones, I mean, it was getting to the point where it was setting up, and I just really didn't want to deal with them. Kind of. So, but this one, you know, we got plenty of time, working time, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll show you how to. You can reuse those syringes and tips, typically, unless it gets too set up, unless you let it go too long, you know. So first thing I want to do, I'm going to get rid of my stir sticks. I think we got a little bit of resin that we can put in the fun cup. Hopefully that liquid diamonds has set up now. It's not going to hurt anything if it hasn't, but yeah. Yeah, that's set up. I think we're going to do it kind of on its side here. There's just not enough room. Not enough room. Chartreuse going in. These are all probably going to just bleed together, by the way. Again, because of the super long working time, I have a feeling that it's just going to be a big blob. But we'll see. We'll see what we can get out of it. I think I'm going to not pour the white in because it would just kind of make things, if it bleeds, it's going to be terrible. But it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens here. A little bit more in here. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we'll try a little bit of white in the corner. I have a feeling that the white will just sink. This will be kind of an interesting experiment. Okay, so we got, let's see here, we got a, that's not going to work. I need this one, this cup. Okay. I'm just going to try to lightly put this to the side. But this resin probably isn't going to set up for hours. So I have a feeling that's just going to be a gigantic mess. We got all of our syringes here. Right, yep. Don't need that. That can go there. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean off this stick too. And then I'm going to take some acetone and clean this cup out completely. Just because I want to use this cup, so it doesn't really have anything to do with cleaning the syringes or anything. What I want to use this cup for is to hold acetone in it. So I'm just cleaning this thing out real quick. Best I can. Good enough. So I'm going to fill this cup up with some acetone here. And the easy way to clean these needles is you just suck in some acetone, squeeze it out, and just keep doing that. I'm just kind of sucking it into the needle, filling it up, and then just squirting it out basically. And that way you're kind of cleaning, you know, the resin from the inside of that syringe and the needle tip. So just kind of work it in and out. And then actually, before I take that apart, and then when I've done that a few times, then what I do is I'm going to just try and squirt out as much of the acetone that's in there as possible. Take off the tip even. And you should be able to reuse these things, all right? At least, you know, 1 or 2 times more, bare minimum. Sometimes you can get some of that resin kind of stuck on the side and the thing doesn't really, it's not smooth. And at that point, I would probably just toss your syringe. I don't know that it's really worth the hassle, because what ends up happening is you end up blobbing out resin because it's stuck and then it releases and it's just kind of a pain at that point, right? So if it starts to get sticky, then just toss the syringe. Like I said, they're not that expensive. And I have links to the syringes down in the description, but I also have links here. I'll drop them again in the chat for you. So this is a link to the needles. This is the tip size that I use. I wouldn't go smaller than this for most resins. Maybe for like a super thin viscosity resin, but I would recommend this size. It's the 14 gauge tip, and then this is to the 10 milliliter. So this is 20, but the 10 milliliter syringes. I think that's probably your best bet of size to order, to have on hand. But they make them in all kinds of different sizes, and so those links are to Amazon, and you can see what they look like, and then probably find alternatives as well on there. All right, so you just make sure you get all that acetone out of there, clean it up, and then toss it in the drawer. And then if you want, you can even blow out the tips a little bit with compressed air. I don't think it's really necessary, but you could, just to make sure everything's out of there. Just to make sure, I think I've already been kind of cleaning out a couple other of those things, so I think I'm gonna actually, for this big one, I'm gonna pour in some fresh acetone, just to make sure that I'm not sucking in, remnants of other resin. Keep this as clean as, whoa, I guess you can pull these things apart. That's another way to clean it. I've never had that happen before. Do they all come apart? Have I been doing this like the hardest way? Wow, you can just take them apart and soak them if you want. Huh. I never knew that. This one came apart way easy. So if you want to, you could just soak it in acetone or something like that. Denatured alcohol would probably work as well. Huh. I think I tried doing that on like the first ones and it wouldn't come apart. So I just assumed that they weren't meant to come apart. I think that might be a better way to, like, especially like on this plunger. I think it might not be a bad way to go to just kind of soak it and at least be able to like wipe it off. I think that'll get you much further life on these things. So anyway, the whole point is these are reusable as long as you can clean them before the resin really, has time to like super set up. Oh, I got one more needle. Dang it. Pain. Okay, one more. This one's got dye in it, so it's gonna change color a bit. I still think this is a good way to like kind of get most of this thing clean though. But I do think it's not a bad idea to, there's still some, is that on the outside? Oh, okay. Now I got a new step. I think it would be a good idea to wipe off the plunger and just make sure there's no resin on that. I don't really think you're going to get a lot in the body of this thing, Take it apart, clean it. You could soak it, whatever you want. And I'm just going to kind of clean this thing up, make sure I've gotten all the resin out of there, wipe it down, and we'll be ready to rock next time with it. Whew. You're gonna Catholic the replay, huh? Yeah, it's no problem. That's why we have the replays up, you know. Because not everybody can, catch it live. So, no worries. It was a little bit challenging. I'm not a huge. I have no patience, basically. So, you'll probably laugh at me when you watch the replay. At least on the first one, anyway. Second one went pretty well. Don't bite off more than you can chew. That's all I'll say. All right, so I think we're done now. Just trying to make sure I'm not leaving anything out here. That's super important. All right. So last time, or last mention, these T-shirts are available at easywoodtools.com, and the proceeds go to support, 100% of the proceeds go to support Vets Turn, which helps combat vets that have PTSD or injuries and both. Gets them fully set up with like a full shop of turning tools, like lathe tools, all that kind of stuff, plus instruction. And so to kind of help them deal with PTSD and like as like kind of a therapy type thing. So it's a really good organization, and Easy Wood Tools decided to make these shirts and just donate the proceeds of the sales to Vets Turn. So you can get these. There's a link down in the description below. They're like, I think $35, and it's a really nice shirt. I really like it. It's got kind of like the flag made out of like chisels and some diamond plate. Actually, those are carbide cutters. The tops, I didn't think about that. They kind of look like diamond plate to me at first. And then the back. So head on over there. Again, link down in the description to pick these guys up. Help support the cause. It's a really good one. So anyway, guys, I hope you, I know it was kind of pretty long. Wow, it was a pretty long one. But yeah, you missed the lab coat and goggles. You're going to have to watch that. Then I just got hot and sweaty, which is what always happens. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. On Saturday, we will hopefully turn one of these guys up. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're done. These ones should be, but well, I maybe should have used liquid diamonds because I don't know if these are going to be set up fully. I would really, yeah. We're not going to be able to do the red ones. And oh man. I got to be honest, guys. I don't think we're going to be able to get these things turned on Saturday because I'm not going to be in the shop tomorrow at all. So I can't fill the first one. That's why I wanted to get that thing done. That's why I was getting really frustrated. And this one I wouldn't turn. It's going to be soft. So I think we're going to have to wait until I get back in town, actually. So maybe on Saturday, just to let you know why I mentioned back in town. So we're having a stream on Saturday, but not next week. So not on the 24th or 27th. I'm going to be out of town. So I think what we're going to do, though, like I said, we'll see if I can get these things done, the first batch and it's like ready to turn or not. These are not. The ones with the deep pour, they're not going to be ready by Saturday. But if we can't turn one of these guys, I got some stuff that we can turn. Remember those label blanks from Drop Anchor? So that would be a good time to do one of those, maybe a couple of them. So we're definitely going to have a stream this Saturday. I just don't exactly know what we're going to be doing. So if these things aren't ready, then we'll have to do that after I get back in town. But oops, didn't think about that. So anyway, guys, I think that's about it. Trying to think if there's anything else going on here. Any other announcements? I don't think so. I think that's about it. So I appreciate you guys joining the fun tonight. One last thing, the mystery box number 2, that video is coming out on Sunday. Okay, so be looking for that. You're going to really want to watch that. Let's just say there might have been shrapnel involved and stuff like face mask day. It's going to be a good one. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the evening, and I will see you guys on Saturday, and we'll turn something up. I don't know what it'll be yet, but it'll be pretty fun, I think. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.